Okay, so I know I don't post here on this channel very often, just whenever I feel like it, but I wanted to kind of discuss what happened this past weekend to kind of elaborate what the title of this video is all about. So, it was Friday morning, got out of work. Last time I'd eaten was about 3 o'clock in the morning, because usually I do that, that's my lunch break during work. Picked up breakfast from McDonald's, and then I got picked up to go on a little mini vacation of sorts for the next day or two, going down to South Bend. So I'm still awake this whole time, because of course, third shift, working overnight, still a thing. Not to my personal preference there, but still it's happening. And after doing some things, I think there was like some door dashing, some waiting in the car while there was like a Menards trip going on, watching a puppy at one point. And of course, there was a bit of a visibility drop because while I was waiting in the car while a Menards trip was going on, all of a sudden the visibility dropped. It almost looked like fog kind of rolled in. So I was getting a Silent Hill type of vibe out there, being like, really? That's the type of thing I'm looking out here at the parking lot of a Menards, eh? But then after getting some other work done during the day, and, well, we were initially going to try to get into a hotel around noon, but they said no, the check-in time's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the earliest, so alright. Went to a park down in South Bend area, chilled around for a little bit, like just napping for a few hours, letting the puppy run wild a little bit, checking out the park. And of course, myself, being the Pokemon Go fan that I am, I'm still scanning all the different Pokestops in there, which is like a boatload of them without even getting out of the car. Finally, after a few hours, we got to the hotel. And instead of getting something to eat, we were so tired that by the time 6:30 in the afternoon rolled around, we decided, yeah, we're going to fall asleep. But first, there was a problem. When we got to the hotel that we were at, and I still have the card because I never gave it back. I won't say the exact location, but I'll give the brand name here. It's the Quality Inn. Not sponsored, by the way. We went to a Quality Inn, and we had to change rooms right away because the first room we got to, it was not clean. Like, it smelled like ass. In fact, while I was waiting there for us to get with the puppy and waiting for a room to get changed, I could smell the room, so I had to turn on a fan from inside the bathroom. Sheets were still undone, and there was a Little Caesars box in the trash can. So it showed that, yeah, somebody wasn't thinking ahead there when they booked us in that room, did they? Took a little bit, but we got a clean room after that. Chilled out a little bit. I think there... I was trying to remember if there was a shower overnight or if that was in the morning. Might have been before we went to bed, but showered, lay down. Like, we were going to get a little something to eat, but we were, like, too tired. We're like, nah, we can save food for later. So, let me remind you, this was still Friday afternoon. I had not eaten since 3 o'clock in the morning that day on Friday. So we went to bed, sometimes on and off for sleep, while my significant other woke up and decided to do some door dashing for a few hours. I think maybe some lifting, but might have been some lifting because of the time of the morning. So a few hours away and everything, I stayed in bed. I was either asleep, trying to watch a bit of Family Guy in the morning, which is a little weird to do between 2 and 3 a.m., and maybe trying to find something else on TV, which it reminds me why I don't really subscribe to cable anymore, because there's not really a whole lot of options. I should have just pulled something up on my phone there, huh? So now, go back to bed, wake up at latest about 11 a.m., because the latest we had to be out by was like noon, so it was like a slight grace period. Grabbed the stuff, packed up, left the hotel because we were going to head out, do a bit more door dashing, pick up a friend, come back to Michigan, and have like a bit of a gathering of sorts with friends and everything. By friends, I mean my significant other got a couple friends I had not met yet, but we also had one mutual friend that we were picking up. Well, after we left the hotel, we went down the street to a Marathon gas station to pick up maybe some drinks or snacks or whatever, just to replenish, because we still hadn't eaten. I think there might have been a breakfast pizza that was picked up, at least in my recollection. But as soon as I got into that Marathon gas station, so this was probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because again, there was a bit of traveling, DoorDash, and moving, everything like that. I got into there, went up, like, past the front counter, turned left around past the snacks, right around where the drinks were at and everything, because they had the freezers, And all of a sudden, I started to feel really nauseous. Real nauseous. Because also in the middle of the night, my significant other got sick in the bathroom. Like back in the hotel. Now, I know that wasn't affecting me because this was a great time period difference here. But all of a sudden, I started to slunch over and be like, oh, oh. And at first, we were going to go to the bathroom, but we realized it wasn't time. And right in front of us, they had like those slushing machines. But unfortunately, for some reason, it was dripping. Like the red liquid coming out of there, so they had a trash can right in front of there to catch it instead of letting it spill on the floor. I hunched over that trash can, and I just lost it in there. Just, oh. So by that point, it had been like 34 hours since I had anything to eat. Because, like, I would have had breakfast from McDonald's from, like, the Friday morning, but it's just, like, didn't want my stomach going off, wasn't feeling it on the road and everything. But I just lost it in that can. It was just like, oh, God. So it's like something went on there. And from that point on, through the rest of the day, I was battling lightheadedness like you would not believe. Sometimes I was okay. Other times I was feeling like I was completely out of my mind. Like feeling like I was going to pass out, not paying attention to everything. There were some points where I was in the car while we were still doing some DoorDash afterwards where I felt just fine. Felt like I was snapping back into it. But other times, like, later on when we did the meetup at the Hampton Inn, like, we were allowed to be in the boardroom. Even though we didn't have a room, we went to the boardroom just to have a friend gathering there to talk and everything like that. There were times where I was zoning out, because my lightheadedness was still kicking in pretty hard. And even when I had some food, because finally by that point it had been at least 7, 8 o'clock at night on Saturday. So now by this point, by my calculation, that's 41 hours since the last time I ate. Sitting there at the table, we had some noodles slash pasta with like meatballs and some bacon in there. I had a bit of the breakfast pizza on the way there, so I had a little something in my stomach. But then my stomach also went off before we had the meeting. But then sitting down there, talking with everybody, having a little bit more in my stomach, had some stuff to drink. I mean, a slight bit of alcohol, not much. I'm always careful when drinking. Before we even left the hotel, I had, like, the main one earlier in the day. Drank Gatorade Zero Sugar, the red kind. So that was something in there. Body Armor Zero Sugar, which was the lemon flavor, which I really like. And I might have tried some other little hits and misses of some drink concoctions. But I know I wasn't drunk or anything, because, again, very minimal alcohol at all. But then, it was by the end of the night, we decided, yeah, it's best for me to head back home and relax, because I was just still out of it. Well, in the middle of the night, I can't remember the exact time for this part, but we were headed back home, so we were like no more than 30 minutes away. We pulled up to a rest stop, and there was a phone call going on in the car, and I was advised just lay back and relax in the passenger seat of the car. Raining outside and everything. And next thing you know, I just completely pass out. I was just like, oh. Not like one of those fainting pass out, but just like, you don't have energy, lightheaded, even with a little bit of extra food in there, like apple slices, stuff like that. I just could not stay awake. And I could hear some of the phone call conversation still happening, even with my eyes closed. Next you know, I'm being gently woken up as I'm getting pulled up just into my house. And I was still out of it a little bit. Still trying to stand up as soon as I got out of the car, be like, And then as soon as I got back in the house, had another little bit of a snack, like a couple donut holes, which I think they're like sour cream flavor, which are really good from Family Fare, and a Coca-Cola. Something I did not have since I was at work. Went to bed around 1:30 in the morning, woke back up around 8 a.m., and finally I feel better. I think you can tell by my voice and my speech patterns here and everything that everything's a lot better now. So it's like, yeah, I needed... It had to have... My lightheadedness had to have been from getting sick in that marathon. Because like I said, it couldn't have been from sleep deprivation because I slept a lot in that hotel. I mean, yeah, there were some periods where I woke up, but basically that was like a 17-hour time frame for sleeping. Getting a couple hours of sleep before then in the car, like in the park. And then like maybe 12 hours between the time we left the hotel up until I came home and went back to bed. So it's like, I think that just shows that going that lengthy amount of time without getting any food in your stomach is not good for you. Like, I've only had one other instance in my life where I got sick with an empty stomach. And that was back after my chest surgery, just because I had to move around and, quote, for the the physical therapy portion, just to get my legs working again after being bedridden, after getting my chest worked on, which I've already discussed in detail. That's the only other time I've ever gotten sick while moving around. So I think it goes to show, and take this as advice, something I should have known. Do not go without food. Okay, that's a vital thing. You might be able to do best skipping one meal, depending on what your situation is. But if you have the opportunity to eat, do it. Because otherwise you're going to regret it later, just like I did in the Marathon gas station. Like I said, thank goodness that trash can was there. Thank goodness. So yeah, thankfully everything good now. I still got work tonight though, but that's whatever. But hopefully, let me know what y'all thought in the comment section below. Hopefully everything's going to be good going forward. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out and good day, everybody.